On behalf of my colleagues and myself, I would like to thank you, Mr. Hugh, for being here with us.
Not at all.
I have two questions.
Right.
The first one regarding foreign policy.
Yeah.
What is your personal opinion regarding Guantanamo Bay? Especially there are detainees. They didn't get any fair trial for more than 12 years. And the second question is, what is the impact of Scotland's independence on British economy?
Okay.
Yeah.
On Guantanamo, I actually agree with Obama, but he didn't act fast enough. Obama said it should have been shut down overnight. Obama said when he came in, it should have been shut down, and the people in there either found guilty of something or actually released, even released with security, but released. And I think it's a big regret for him that he didn't do it. He said so publicly. There are times when, in the midst of conflict situations, tough controls are put in place. And Guantanamo isn't the first and it won't be the last. If you look at Northern Ireland, one of the biggest mistakes that was made over there was at the height of the Troubles. A lot of the captured IRA, the Irish Republican Army, were put into cell blocks known as their H blocks at the time, which were big jail ones with them in one area, separated from all of the other prisoners. And they were never regarded as political prisoners. They were always regarded as criminals, so there was no discussion with them either. There was no trying to find a way forward. So these mistakes happen. But Guantanamo, there may have been a point at which the type of, not the abuses by the way, but the isolation was needed for, and there will still to be, for genuine terrorists that pose a genuine threat. But long incarceration without trial, it's just wrong. So on the Scottish example, Wales, if you were asking this question in Scotland, there'd be a very different response now. Wales is part of the Union, but Wales has always felt different. For quite some time, Scotland has had a very strong independence, push for independence. Wales, it's always been a fringe activity. It's been a small number of people who've been interested in that. We've always seen, the majority of Wales have always seen the benefits of being part of this larger union of nations. We do, by the way, regard ourselves in Wales as a nation. We're not just a region, we're a nation. But we also have seen the benefits of being part of England, Scotland and Northern Ireland together. If they vote to go independent, Wales the biggest impact is not going to be on Wales, although within Wales, people will say, well, we want more powers. We want more autonomous government. We want to be able to do more ourselves. And, you know, we might do that come what may, because we're already discussing ways in which we can strengthen the powers of Welsh Government. I think the biggest impact will not be on Wales or on Northern Ireland. The biggest impact will be on England, because they've never quite got devolution. If you look at England, Wales 3.5 million, Scotland 6 and a bit million people, Northern Ireland similar. We're small nations. In England, you've got this huge 50 million plus population, and yet the northeast of England feels very different from the southwest and Cornwall and Devon, feels very different from the east of England, feels very different from the Midlands, feels very different from London. London's economy is, and London as a region, is pretty much wholly separate, almost disconnected from the rest of the UK. So the big question, if Scotland goes for independence, and then Wales gets a bit more powers, is, what about England? Poor old England. And this is quite interesting, because about 10 years ago, Labour Party, when it was in power, tried to offer devolution to a part of England, and it was rejected. They said, no, we don't want it. Amazingly, I was amazed. I think it was not to do with the principle, it was to do with the politics of the time. They were going to reject it. But having done so, people are now saying, well, how do we give more role to areas of England that do not feel part of London, that do not feel part of the South East? That's the big question, because my fear would be that what we end up is a big drive for an England Parliament based in London. People in Manchester and Birmingham will say, well, that's not our Parliament. People in the North East, in Yorkshire, which regards itself as a country of its own, will say that's not our Parliament. I would like to think, I think the way through this, and I've considered this and believed it for some time, is we have to do the vote in September on Scotland. If the vote is no, to keep the Union as it is, I think then we need to move to a proper, what they call a convention of the United Kingdom, where you consult with people across the UK and say, well, that was a narrow one, but we know that people are unhappy in different areas. Which way do you now want to take it forward? In Wales we've got this, in Scotland we've got this. What do you want to do in England? Because that's the great question for this country. And you know, I think it would be a tragedy internationally if all of a sudden you had a good, brave, bold, but little Scotland, and a confused England, and Wales doing our own thing. The US aren't going to respect us. Obama has made that clear. Other countries have made it clear that they want us not only as a UK, a united kingdom, but they want us as a united kingdom within Europe as well. So there's all dangers here in September, major dangers for the future of this strange union. And I'm a passionate Welshman, I really am, but I think we're better off as part of a strong UK, and a strong UK that is big on the world stage, that is big on diplomacy, not military might, that gets up there and does what at one time we were good at, that has big reach in terms of bridge building rather than destroying bridges, peace and reconciliation rather than the other way around. We can only do that as a big country, I think, not as lots of little entities. Crikey, okay. Yes, anybody else? Yeah.